Hello, devoted fans of the endless twists and turns in Salem. It's us, the passionate team behind TV Day's Drama Digest channel, your ultimate source for all things soap opera sensationalism. We're thrilled to dive deep into the swirling vortex of intrigue that is Days of Our Lives today. If you're anything like us, you've been glued to your screens, heart pounding with every revelation, every betrayal, and every long-lost character clawing their way back from the brink. And oh, do we have a juicy topic for you, the enigmatic Stefan DiMera. Could it be that Brandon Barish is making a triumphant return to the role that set our hearts ablaze? We're here to unpack this electrifying possibility, dissecting the clues, the whispers, and the high-stakes drama that's got everyone buzzing. Buckle up, because we're about to embark on a rollercoaster ride through the shadows of the DiMera legacy, exploring how this story might explode onto our screens in ways we never saw coming. Let's start by painting the picture of Stefan DiMera, shall we? For those who might need a refresher for the newcomers who've just discovered the addictive chaos of Salem, Stefan is no ordinary character. He's a DiMera through and through. Born from the infamous Vivian Alamain's twisted web of secrets and schemes, played with magnetic intensity by Brandon Barish, Stefan burst onto the scene like a storm, blending ruthless ambition with a vulnerability that made him impossible to hate entirely. Remember his early days? He arrived in Salem as the long-lost son, ready to claim his stake in the DiMera empire, clashing with siblings like Chad, EJ, and Kristen in boardroom battles that spilled over into personal vendettas. But it was his fiery romance with Gabby Hernandez that truly elevated him from villain to anti-hero. Gabby, the fierce fashionista with a heart of gold hidden beneath layers of revenge-fueled fire, found in Stefan a partner who matched her intensity. Their love story was a whirlwind of passion, betrayal, and redemption. Think stolen kisses in the DiMera mansion, corporate takeovers laced with seduction, and moments of raw emotion that left us all reaching for the tissues. Yeah, as any Days fan knows, happiness in Salem is as fleeting as a summer storm. Stefan's journey has been riddled with near-death experiences, brainwashing, and resurrections that defy logic thanks, of course, to the mad genius Dr. Wilhelm Rolf and his arsenal of serums and gadgets. Barish first brought Stefan to life in 2018, only to see the character killed off in a dramatic sacrifice to save his mother. But death? That's just a plot device in Salem. Barish returned first as Stefan's twin Jake Lambert, a mechanic with a blue-collar edge, and then seamlessly transitioning back to Stefan when the truth emerged that Stefan's essence had been preserved. It was a masterclass in soap opera resurrection, with Barish delivering layers of complexity from Jake's rough-around-the-edges charm to Stefan's polished, calculating demeanor. Fans adored it, and Barish's chemistry with co-stars like Camila Banus, the original Gabby, and now Sherry Jimenez, has been electric. But then came the heartbreak. In October 2024, Stefan was unceremoniously yanked from our screens again, this time not by death, but by a kidnapping orchestrated by none other than his own mother, Vivian. Ah, that fateful scene. Let's relive it in all its gripping detail, shall we? It was a moment etched in drama, the kind that Days does best. Stefan had just clawed his way back from the emotional wreckage of his fractured marriage to Gabby. Their relationship, once a beacon of steamy romance, had crumbled under the weight of misunderstandings, affairs, Ava Vitali entanglement, and the ever-present DiMera family meddling. But hope flickered anew. Stefan, with that signature brooding intensity in his eyes, was on the verge of a grand gesture. He was striding toward Gabby, heart laid bare, ready to confess his undying love and beg for a second chance. The air was thick with anticipation. Will they reunite? Could love conquer the chaos of Salem? Enter Vivian Alamain, the queen of manipulation, played with delicious villainy by Louise Sorrell. Vivian, ever the protective or possessive mother, couldn't stomach the idea of Stefan wasting his potential on Gabby, whom she viewed as a scheming opportunist unworthy of the DiMera name. No, Vivian had grander plans for her son, perhaps grooming him for total domination of the family empire, or shielding him from what she saw as Gabby's toxic influence. So she enlisted her loyal henchman, Ivan Mere, a shadowy figure whose loyalty to Vivian knows no bounds. The kidnapping unfolded like a thriller. Stefan, oblivious to the danger lurking in the shadows, was mere steps from Gabby when Ivan struck. With brute force, he grabbed Stefan from behind, a chloroform-soaked rag pressed to his face. Stefan struggled, his eyes widening in shock and betrayal as he realized the perpetrator was acting on his mother's orders. Mother, what have you done? He might have gasped, though the scene left it to our imaginations. Ivan, stone-faced and efficient, hauled the weakening Stefan toward a waiting black sedan, its trunk yawning open like a grave. In a final desperate thrash, Stefan reached out toward Gabby, who was just out of earshot, her back turned to the unfolding horror. But it was too late. Ivan slammed Stefan into the trunk, the thud echoing like a death knell, and sped off into the night. bound for Alemania, a distant land where Vivian could keep her son under lock and key. The aftermath? Devastating. Gabby, unaware of the truth, received forged divorce papers shortly after, stamped with Stefan's signature, a cruel forgery courtesy of Vivian's machinations. Crushed, she spiraled into grief and anger, vowing to move on. We watched as Gabby rebuilt her life, channeling her pain into her business empire, Gabakick, and even dipping her toes into new romances. But fans know better. That spark between Stefan and Gabby never truly extinguishes. It's smoldering, waiting for the right gust of plot wind to ignite it anew. And now, with the calendar flipping to late 2025, whispers are growing louder. Spoilers and fan forums are ablaze with speculation. Is Brandon Barish poised for a comeback? Barish, who's no stranger to the revolving door of soap exits and entrances, has been spotted at fan events like Day of Days, fueling rumors. In interviews, he's teased his affection for the role, saying things like, "Stefan's story is far from over, Salem always calls you back." And let's not forget the show's history of shocking returns. Just look at how Barish seamlessly shifted from Stefan to Jake and back. If he's returning, it could be the catalyst for a seismic shift in the DiMera dynamics. But here's where things get really tantalizing, and where our speculation veers into the dramatic territory that has us on the edge of our seats. Could Stefan be the mastermind behind the recent kidnappings of Kristen DiMera and Tonny DiMera? Yes, you heard that right. In the latest episodes, Salem has been rocked by these abductions, shrouded in mystery and dripping with DiMera intrigue. Let's break it down step by heart-pounding step. First, Kristen, the formidable Stacey Haydick, bringing her signature blend of ferocity and fragility. Kristen was already in a precarious spot, incarcerated in Statesville for her litany of crimes, from corporate sabotage to attempted murders. But even behind bars, she's a force, plotting her escapes and alliances. Then, in a scene straight out of a noir thriller, she was ambushed in the prison yard. A shadowy figure lunged from the darkness, blindfolding her with ruthless efficiency. Kristen fought back, her nails clawing at the air, screams muffled by a gag. Who was this assailant? We didn't see a face, only the blur of motion as she was dragged away, her high heels scraping against the gravel. Whisked to an unknown location, she awoke in a dimly lit crypt, cold stone walls, flickering candlelight, the scent of damp earth and decay. It was a DiMera family mausoleum, perhaps, evoking memories of past resurrections and buried secrets. Then there's Tonny, portrayed with elegant charm by Thou Penless. Tonny, the more refined DiMera brother, was en route back to the mansion after a business dealing, his mind likely on family matters or the latest corporate coup. The attack came swiftly, a black van screeching to a halt, masked figures emerging like ghosts. Tonny, ever the gentleman, tried to reason. Who are you? What do you want? But it was futile. A blow to the head, a blindfold cinched tight, and he was transported to that same crypt, reuniting with Kristen in a twisted sibling captivity. They huddled together, untying each other's bonds, their whispers echoing off the walls. Who could have done this? Kristen hissed, her eyes darting in paranoia. Tonny, rubbing his wrists, speculated on enemies, rival families like the Kyriakizes, or perhaps internal betrayals. But the question lingers, why them? What grand scheme requires these two DiMeras locked away? Enter our theory, Stefan DiMera, risen from his exile like a phoenix from the ashes, orchestrating it all. Picture this: after months in Alemania, under Vivian's iron grip, Stefan breaks free. Maybe he overpowers Ivan in a brutal confrontation, or perhaps he feigns compliance long enough to plot his escape. Emerging from captivity, he's not the same man. The kidnapping has hardened him, fueling a burning rage against those who stood in his way. Vivian's interference? Unforgivable. The DiMera family's endless power struggles? Time to end them on his terms. And Gabby? His love for her is the driving force, but twisted now by isolation and betrayal. He returns to Salem in secret, shadows his cloak, building an underground network of allies, perhaps enlisting disgruntled former employees, or even tapping into Dr. Rolf's forbidden tech. Why target Kristen and Tonny? Let's speculate wildly, as Days loves to do. Kristen, with her history of manipulation, might have been complicit in some way during Stefan's absence, perhaps whispering poisons in Gabby's ear or eyeing the DiMera throne herself. Tonny, the voice of reason, could represent the old guard Stefan wants to dismantle. By kidnapping them, Stefan sends a message: the DiMera Empire is mine to command. Imagine the dramatic reveal: Stefan stepping out of the shadows in that crypt, his face illuminated by torchlight, a sinister smile curling his lips. "Hello, siblings." "Miss me?" Kristen gasps. Tonny staggers back. It's a power play designed to extract concessions, force alliances, or even use them as bait to draw other enemies. But wait, there's more layers to this onion of intrigue. Fan theories are exploding across social media and forums like Reddit, where viewers dissect every clue. Some believe it's Andre DiMera, Tonny's evil twin, presumed dead but also revive up playing the strings, perhaps impersonating Tonny to sow chaos. Others point to E.J. DiMera and Dr. Rolf, huddled in a secret lab bubbling with test tubes labeled A for potential resurrections, Andre, Abigail Devereaux, or even Adrian Kyriakis. And then there's the Stefanos Spectre, the legendary Phoenix himself. Spoilers hint at his essence being implanted in someone, a chip embedding his consciousness. Could Stefan be the vessel? Imagine Vivian kidnapping him not just to separate him from Gabby, but to prepare him for this ultimate transformation. Stefano's return through Stefan would be a pick-brash channeling Joseph Moscola's iconic menace. Blended with Stefan's charisma, it ties everything together, the kidnappings as part of a ritual to gather DiMera blood or memories. Rolf's serums reviving the dead, EJ's ambition fueling the fire. Think about the ripple effects. Gabby, now thriving but haunted by Stefan's divorce, would be shattered and elated by his return. Their reunion? Explosive SE embraces interrupted by accusations, tears mingling with kisses. Chad, as current DiMera head, would face a challenger like no other, leading to boardroom showdowns and perhaps physical confrontations. And Vivian? Her betrayal exposed, she might flee or double down, allying with unexpected foes. The Kyriakis clan, sensing weakness, could launch their own attacks, escalating the family wars. Of course, this is all speculation, but isn't that the beauty of Days? The show thrives on these what-ifs, keeping us hooked week after week. Brandon Barish's potential return adds another layer of excitement. Fired in 2024 amid storyline shifts, his attendance at fan events and cryptic social media posts screen comeback. Fans on X, formerly Twitter, are trending Bring Back Stefan, sharing memes of Barish's smoldering gaze and pleading for more stabby magic. If he does return, expect fireworks. Barish has proven he can handle the complexity, from romantic leads to villainous turns. As we wrap this deep dive, dear viewers, the question remains, is Stefan the puppet master behind Kristen and Tonny's ordeal? Does he have a grand plan to reclaim his life, his love, and his legacy? Or is this the prelude to something even bigger, like Stefano's ultimate resurrection? We'll be watching every episode, analyzing every glance and whisper. We hope you enjoyed it and look forward to sharing more with you in the future. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to TV Days Drama Digest for more updates on Days of Our Lives.